Hi, this is Christine with Where's Watson? I'm very pleased to be back in our Industrial Arts Teacher Education program today with Matt and Jeff. We're going to talk about how they've incorporated paddle making into their curriculum. So Jeff, tell us a little bit about how this got started.
Well, it all started with Ken Hardicanian and myself being invited by Seven Oaks School Division to do a paddle making workshop with Mark Bleesk from Paddles Across Canada. So we were invited, they had 2 spots left, and Fortis and asked us to come. So we went and did a full day of paddle making with them. We brought that information and how great the program is back to the college. And Matt and Gord were able to put it into their woodworking program from there. So it was from an invite to right into our program now.
Wonderful. So Matt, tell me about bringing it into the curriculum and what that process was like.
Well, to start off, it is important that we have industry partners to come work with us. And when Jeff and Ken saw that this was a really valuable experience, we figured that what a great way to integrate some Aboriginal perspectives into the things that we do.
And why is that important for teacher education? Why do you think that incorporating Indigenous perspectives and history and culture is important for the work that you do?
Well, I mean, it's important to us because of the calls to action, but it's also important because we're the ones on the ground floor that are going to be communicating the knowledge and shaping the way young people think, right? So it's important for us that when we think about how we integrate that content into what we do, we make sure that we do it without being tokenistic. So we have to make sure that we bake it in, so it's just a natural part of everything that we do, as opposed to feeling like we're checking off a box, right? And the reason why this project itself was really valuable was that, you know, what's more Canadian than making a paddle, right? Nothing. But there's also some Indigenous perspectives we can infuse and bake right into the process, right? And then we can allow students to make a paddle maybe that reflects their history or an area of treaty land that they frequent. And so that's kind of a way that they can learn about it while still doing something that at the end of the day is just ultimately Canadian.
Wonderful. Tell me about your process and your paddle. I'm really interested in how you designed your paddle and your personal connection to the process.
So when Mark does a workshop, he brings in upwards of 50 different templates you can choose from. And he tells you a little bit of a story about it. Right away, he claims and lets you know that he's not Indigenous, and he tells you exactly where he gets his information from. So he gives you that incentive to go learn more if you wish. But for this paddle myself, being a member of the Mississaugas of the First Nation, we are Algonquin people, so I chose the Algonquin paddle for the bottom, and our neighbors are the Six Nations of the Grand River, who are Iroquois people, so I chose the Iroquois on the other end. So just kind of having the neighboring is kind of like my history, my life story. Personally, I've tried to do a little more leather working and some beadwork, teaching myself some new crafts. And the beadwork I did on here has the 4 colors for the 4 directions, and each strand of the colors has 7 beads for the 7 teachings. So it kind of ties it all together. And students have personalized them however they like, whether it be Indigenous artwork or just anything personal, however they like at the end. So again, it's a personal paddle, personal gift for themselves, right? So.
And do you want to tell me about your paddle?
Sure, absolutely. So my paddle is modeled after the Indigenous people around the Kenora area. I'm lucky enough to have the ability to go to a summer cottage in that area, and it's kind of one of the areas that I'm thinking about using it. So I wanted to make sure that it reflected the area that I spend some of my time.
Wonderful. I want to thank you both for sharing the process. Again, that's Paddles Across Canada, so if you'd like to look it up, there's lots of information, and And if any of you are interested in making a paddle or learning more about the program, don't hesitate to reach out to Matt or Jeff or the Industrial Arts program. It really is very, very meaningful, and I want to thank you both for incorporating our commitment to truth and reconciliation in everything we do. And this is a great example of how Industrial Arts has once again made that commitment and built it into our curriculum to not only influence our students, but also influence each other. And thank you for sharing your stories.
Thank you.
Thanks for covering it.
Take care. Bye.